Maintenance man at Mr. Dog Poop Studios. This week, Mr. Dog Poop wants to build a murder board for a film that he's producing. Well, we printed up some articles, but they don't exactly look old. So, we're gonna try making them look old with some coffee and tea that we picked up at Starbucks. So we got some Lipton tea bags. We got some black coffee from Starbucks. Do not put cream and sugar. We have a tray, and then we have some newspaper articles that we printed up. Obviously, we have white paper. This is not going to look old. Hopefully, by staining it with the tea and the coffee, we're going to be able to make these look old. For our murder board, we're going to be cutting out particular articles. And obviously, we're making them up with Photoshop. They're not going to be real articles because it's a movie. Printing them on white paper, which doesn't exactly look like it came from 1970. Put some beer on it. So I have some tea bags here, and we've been using those. This is called tea stained paper, and you can go on Etsy and you can buy it for a lot of money, or you can do it yourself. So I'm going to pour this out, and you'll see the paper will soak up the tea. It also wrinkles. And you'll see we now have something that's yellowed. So here's an important note. We have a laser printer. And if you have a laser printer, you can print your article and you're good to go. If you don't have a laser printer, if you're using an inkjet, you're going to have to make it plain before you print it because the water will make the ink run. So you can use plain paper. Now this is going to get a little bit wrinkled, but you can see the effect here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it outside. You can put it on the hood of a car. You could put it in an oven. You could get all this out of here and put it on an oven. We're going to use the tea bags and kind of drizzle some spots so we get some darker spots as it dries out. Let me take this outside to the drying table. So I'm just going to take the paper, put it down. I don't know where all these bubbles came from, but I'm going to use the tea bags and I'm just going to put some, so it's not even. So there's some darker spots. And hopefully in the Florida sun, this will dry in a few minutes. Let's go back inside and do it with coffee. So this was an article I printed up, New York Times. Again, if you're doing this with an inkjet, make sure you do the staining first on plain paper. And I'm just going to pour some Starbucks coffee in here and let it soak. Let's see the difference. Get it soaked into the coffee. So let's try it with coffee and we'll see the difference. I'm going to take this out because I'm going to pour it on the table. I'm going to take this outside onto the drying table and put it out to dry. So you'll see this paper didn't pick up, the tea didn't make it the same color as the coffee. The coffee is a little bit different. In fact, coffee didn't get it a lot at all. So here's a plain piece of paper that wasn't printed on. I'm going to pour some of this on this, like that, and let it dry. And I'm going to lay this out to dry. And we'll see what that looks like. You'll see the coffee kind of gets into the wrinkles or the dents. The tea obviously has much different color. This one I put the coffee on it to dry it, and we can kind of splatter it and we'll see what that turns out like. We'll leave them out here for a little while to dry. Go back inside, have a beer. So here's our final product. This is the tea stained paper. So this is the paper that we stained with the tea. This is the coffee, and you can see the big difference between the darker tea and a lighter coffee. Now this was coffee. It doesn't look as dark as this one because this one was printed. You can always go back and do another step, or you could take the coffee and maybe put some spots on it with the tea bags. We could drip some tea on it and let that dry if we wanted to. So if we wanted to put some spots. But you can see it looks old. If you're using an inkjet, remember, you can make this, and if it gets wrinkled like this, then go ahead and take an iron it flat so that it can run through your printer, and you'll still have that aged look. You won't have the crinkles. You might want to crinkle it up a little bit. You can always crinkle the paper up and give it that kind of a look. The one thing that I did mess up is that I put these outside on a table. I didn't realize when they dried, they're very light paper, and the wind picked them up and I had to chase them down the street. So if you're gonna put them outside, maybe put a paperweight on it. If you're doing them inside, you could put them in an oven, you could just leave them in a room, but compare that to that. So this looks like maybe it came from the 1970s. And then when we cut out our articles, so let's say this isn't actually what we would use, but we could go in and cut out our article. And when we put it up on our murder board, it looks authentic. And it doesn't look like we just printed it today. Again, that was white paper. And now it looks like something hopefully from the 1970s, 1960s, 1950s, 1900s. I definitely think this looks pretty cool. If we cut this out, put it on our bulletin board, does that look like an article from this week, or does that look like something old? I like it. Simple. Go to Starbucks, pay $17 for a cup of tea, $42 for a cup of coffee, and get yourself a piece of paper, and you're good to go. When I sent the video guy to Starbucks to get coffee, I thought he would get to-go cups. I didn't think he would take the regular cups and run out the door with them.